Hi everyone, and welcome. Today, we are tackling a super common and frustrating issue in Blazor. Your add-on-click event is not firing. This often happens in server-side Blazor components, especially with .NET 8. It can feel like your code is just being ignored. Don't worry, we will break down the main reasons and give you clear steps to fix it. Let's dive in. First and foremost, if you are using .NET 8, the most likely culprit is your component's rendering mode. Blazor in .NET 8 introduced new ways to manage interactivity. A server-side Blazor component, by default, might render statically. This means it sends HTML to the browser but does not establish a SignalR connection for interactivity. Without that connection, your add-on-click events cannot be handled by the server. You need to explicitly tell Blazor that your component should be interactive on the server. You do this by adding @RenderMode InteractiveServer to your component. You can add it directly to the component itself, for example, @RenderMode InteractiveServer myComponent/ or globally in your routes.razor file, or even directly on the component definition, myComponent @RenderMode equals InteractiveServer/. This is a crucial step for .NET 8 server components. Make sure your component is actually interactive. Once you have confirmed the rendering mode, let's look at other common issues. Check your event handler method signature. Your add-on-click method should typically be void myMethod, or task myMethod. If you are doing async operations, use task. Avoid async void unless you really know what you are doing, as it can hide exceptions. Also, ensure the method is public or protected. Another common reason is that your UI might not be re-rendering after the event. Blazor automatically re-renders components when their state changes, especially if you modify properties bound to the UI. However, if your event handler performs actions that don't directly update bound properties, or if it calls an external service, you might need to explicitly tell Blazor to re-render. You do this by calling state_has_changed at the end of your event handler. This forces the component to re-render and update the UI. Debugging is your friend here. Set a breakpoint inside your add-on-click method. If the breakpoint is hit, your event is firing, and the issue is likely with UI updates or subsequent logic. If the breakpoint is not hit, then the event is truly not being handled. This points back to the rendering mode or a problem with the event registration itself. Use your browser's developer tools. Check the console for any JavaScript errors. Look at the Network tab to see if a SignalR connection is established for your interactive components. Sometimes, JavaScript interop can interfere with Blazor's event handling if you are manually manipulating the DOM elements that Blazor expects to control. Make sure no other JavaScript is removing or reattaching your button. To quickly recap, for .NET 8 server-side Blazor, always check your @RenderMode InteractiveServer first. Then, confirm your event handler signature is correct, and consider adding state_has_changed if your UI isn't updating. Use breakpoints to pinpoint where the execution stops. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around to solve this common Blazor puzzle. I hope this helps you get your add-on-click events firing perfectly. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more Blazor tips and tricks. See you next time.